What's up? Today we're going to talk about AI hallucinations. My name is Yujin Tang. I'm out here in cloudy Seattle. And in order to understand AI hallucinations, I'm going to take you back in time to the 1970s. So first, we're going to think about this in terms of how neural networks work. What happens is you give it some numbers, and then it does some processing, and then it spits out some other numbers. And the numbers that it spits out are typically some sort of prediction or some sort of classification or something like that. It's a predicting how likely it is that something fits into a category. Then, as we advanced neural networks, what we discovered is that this type of neural network called recurrent neural networks were really good for sentences, natural language. And the reason it was good at this is because it was able to keep up this thing called context. However, context would degrade over time because as you pass these numbers through the neural network, sometimes they will be multiplied by smaller numbers until they become zero, and then you lose that context. In order to fix this problem, we came up with this thing called transformers. And transformers take an input, and then they first put it into something called an encoder, and the encoder spits out a matrix or a set of vectors, which is really just a bunch of numbers that represents both where you are in the input sequence as well as what has been input so far. And so if you were to go with the sentence, for example, the cat in a hat has a bat, and you were to encode this at each word, you'd have a different encoding that tells you where you are in the sentence and what has come before. After this information, this state gets fed into a decoder along with another matrix called self-attention. And this will predict something perhaps like the next token. And this is how we got into something like BERT, which is an encoder-only model, or ChatGPT, GPT-3, whatever, which is a decoder model. And so what ChatGPT does, what the decoder model does, is it takes in this positional input, this token embedding, and then it gives you out the next word. So all it's doing is predicting the next word. It's predicting what is going to be most likely coming in the next word. So if you were to say, the chicken walked across, it would probably finish your sentence by saying the road. So why does it finish your sentence by saying the road? It's because in the data that it was trained on, the most likely way that this sentence was finished was the chicken walked across the road. So this is why AI hallucinates. AI hallucinates because it is essentially just detecting patterns in data and trying to give you what it thinks is the most likely next word from the data that it was trained on. Thanks for watching, and make sure you follow for more.